Hi guys, today we're going to learn how to write a limerick poem. And our learning objective is I can review rhymes, learn aspects of limerick poems, and write and publish 2 examples of a limerick poem. So here's a little kind of funny clip art that you can see, a little funny illustration, and it says, "A very green drink. What do you think?" I've never had a drink that green. How about you? Maybe some like apple soda or something like that, right? Or some kiwi maybe. All right, so first, how do we know if words rhyme? Well, I'm sure you know all about rhymes, but just to review, to know if 2 words rhyme, we need to compare the sound the letters make at the end of each word. It's the sound the letters make, not always the way that they are spelled. So for example, we have the word hello. The end of this word is ello. And then we have the word jello. The end of this word is ello. So you'll notice that lo is the last syllable. We actually have a little bit step further. So hello and jello, the end of the words are spelled the same and that they rhyme. Okay, so that would be one example. Maybe you're thinking already of some more words that might rhyme together. Their ending sounds rhyme. They sound the same. So let's talk more about rhyming words. Some words have the same ending letters, but they do not rhyme because we say the ending of the words differently. Remember, rhymes are about the way the words sound. So here's an example of words that do not rhyme. Even though their letters are the same, at the end of the word, they don't sound the same, so they don't rhyme. So here you can see we have the word ice, I-C-E, and then police. Now, police also ends in I-C-E, but the way we say it is ease. We don't say police. That would just sound weird, right? So here's an example of 2 words that have the same ending, but again, the sound that the letters make at the end don't sound the same, does not sound the same. So ice and police are not rhyming words. All right, so some words have different letters at the end, but they do rhyme because we say the ending of the words the same way. Remember, it's all about sound for rhyming. So an example would be night and kite. So the ending letters are different, but the way we say the ending of those words is the same. So night and kite, they do rhyme. If you feel like you need a little bit more review, go ahead and watch the video that you see in that pink kind of blurb popping out at you. It's highlighted in green. You can watch that rhyming video if you feel like you need a little bit more of a review. All right, so now that we've talked about rhymes, we can think a little bit more and start talking about what exactly is a limerick poem then. Well, a limerick is a special kind of nonsensical, that means it doesn't really make sense, funny poem that has a stanza with 5 lines. And if you'll remember, we learned before, a stanza is like a paragraph in poetry. That's all it means. It's just a fancy way to say a paragraph in poetry. So lines 1, 2, and 5 rhyme and have 8 syllables each. Lines 3 and 4 rhyme and have 5 syllables each. Limericks follow a rhyme scheme called AABBA. You might be thinking, maybe I know why it's AA and then BB and then A. Well, if you look right here, it says lines 1, 2, and 5, they rhyme. So that would be A, line 1. The second A is line 2, because these ending words, last words need to rhyme. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line is also A because that last word will rhyme as well. Now remember here it says lines 3 and 4 rhyme, and they only have 5 syllables each. So the 1, 2, 3rd, and 4th line also are B. They have different rhyming words. Well, let's take a look at an example. That probably will help us think about this a bit more. We'll wait for my page to load and we'll have a look at an example. Let's go back here. We'll wait just a second. All right, guys, so what does a limerick poem look like? Here we go, it's ready now. So here's the rhyme scheme that we just talked about. We've got line 1, line 2, and line 5. Remember, every last word of each of those lines needs to rhyme. So we can see that pattern where we look. Plain, drain, again. We can say this word again. We can also say it again, right? There are kind of two ways to say this word. So again, you'll notice lines 1, 2, and 5, the last word, they're all different, but they all rhyme. And you'll remember the rule of a limerick poem, the third line and the fourth line need to have a word at the end that rhymes. So we've got hurt and dirt. And again, you'll notice here the spelling at the end of the word is not the same, but the sound that it makes is. So we have U-R-T and I-R-T. Well, we say hurt, dirt. So again, it's all about the sounds with rhyming. All right, so let's go ahead and read this poem. We'll talk a little bit more about limerick poems after we read this example. There once was a boy from Mill Plain who got his hair caught in the drain. His head it did hurt. He kicked up some dirt and never went swimming again. Right, so it's kind of funny. Now, if you'll also remember the rule to a limerick poem, lines 1, 2, and 5, they need to have 8 syllables. So let's kind of read line 1 again and clap that out just to review what a syllable is. So we have, there once was a boy from Mill Plain. So we clapped out as we read the syllable. That's a way you can check if you want to make sure that you actually have 8 syllables on line 1. Let's go ahead and clap again and we're going to count. There once was a boy from Mill Plain. How many syllables did you count? I counted 8. How about you? That's the rule. There should be 8 syllables. So that's pretty strict about this kind of poem. The same goes for line 2. We want to make sure that there's 8 syllables. So let's go ahead and clap it out first, and then we'll go ahead and look back and count the syllables. Who got his hair caught in the drain? Let's do it one more time and count the syllables. Who got his hair caught in the drain? How many syllables did you clap and count? I got 8. How about you? All right, so again, remember it's A, and the last line is A as well. So that means line 5 also needs to have 8 syllables. So let's read line 5 and clap out as we read the different syllables. And never went swimming again. So you notice here we have bigger words, and some of the words have 2 syllables. So you have to be careful about that. So we're going to do it one more time, read that last line one more time, and we're going to clap and count the syllables that we say. And never went swimming again. Right? Did you count 8 syllables? That's how many you should have had, and that's how many the last line needs in a limerick poem. Okay, so now we're ready to look at line 3 and 4. His head, it did hurt. So we want to clap and count the syllables that are on line 3. His head, it did hurt. How many syllables did you hear? His head, it did hurt. Did you get the number 5? Good job. There should be 5 syllables on line 3 and line 4. So let's go ahead and check line 4 now and make sure there's also 5 syllables. He kicked up some dirt. Did you count 5 syllables? You should have, right? Because there should be 5 syllables. We have the word kicked, but that's actually 1 syllable because ED kind of makes the sound here, right? We don't say kicked, kicked. That's 1 syllable. So again, line 1, 2, and 5, they have 8 syllables, and every last word rhymes in these 1, 2, 3 lines. And line 3 and 4 have 5 syllables, and the last word in lines 3 and 4 need to rhyme as well. Okay, let's look at another example. There once was a man named Jafar who liked sleeping out in his car. Some thought he was broke. He really liked jokes. He was rich and oh so bizarre. Okay, so how do I write a limerick poem? We've just talked about that a bit. So you'll see that same pattern we just discussed. Line 1 needs to have 8 syllables, and the last word of each of lines 1, 2, and 5 need to rhyme. This is A. And then lines 3 and 4 have 5 syllables, not 5 words, 5 syllables. because some words may have more than one syllable. And the last word in each of these 2 lines, in lines 3 and 4, these 2 words need to rhyme. All right, so now it's your turn. Are you ready? In your poetry book, write 2 different limerick poems. When you finish, make sure you publish both in your published poetry Google Doc. Have fun, guys. I cannot wait to hear your limerick poems. I know you're going to have lots of great rhymes, and they're going to be quite silly and nonsensical. Ready, set, you may begin.